Welcome. Streaming live for you this afternoon, and you're in for a treat as we are going to have a digital ebook download party. And you're going to meet the amazing and wonderful Diana Wentworth. Hello, I'm Rich Bontrager, the Trigger, and welcoming you to this wonderful event today, the ebook download party for Expect Magic. Now, the book is written by the New York best time selling author, Diana Wentworth, with the co-author, Lady J.B. Owen. And this book reveals how expecting magic creates a shift in the mindset that opens us to the possibilities beyond what we can imagine. And I'm not going to waste any more time because I want the lady that wrote the book and really is the expert on this whole expect magic, Diana Wentworth. Hello.
Hi. So excited to be with you.
Well, it's been a while since we've hung out, but to
Mhm.
be honest, when we last spoke on camera, you teased this book out. You were just beginning to mine it and said,
Mhm.
"What do you think of magic, Rich?" And
Yes.
now the book is here. So you've gone on a personal journey. This is a personal journey. This is not an
Mhm.
author writing a story. This is a journey. So you've written on many other books. What was it like to write the book from a personal side?
Well, this is my 12th book. So, and it's the first book that has anything to do with personal growth or sharing techniques for living. I did several of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. I was the first co-author in that series. I did a romantic memoir, but I'm kind of a storyteller, and I just like to tell stories. Thank goodness my publisher was very real with me. She says, this book has to be about the reader. Oh, how do I do that? So she was wonderful in helping me really dig deep into the different techniques that I use to raise my own spirits and to have all sorts of magic show up in my life. So
Well,
I'm thrilled. It's been gestating for years.
Lady JB Owen is your publisher, but co-author. So what was it like collaborating both? I mean, as a publisher, one thing, but now as a co-author, what's it like to partner up with her?
Oh, it was a delight. You meet people sometimes and it's almost like you've known them all your life. She and I it's like we recognized each other. We met during the Women Gone Wild publication last year.
Yep.
And she had me on her podcast. And I don't know, we just hit it up and stayed connected. And then she came to me and she said, well, what if I help you get that book written and out there? And I thought, oh, that's the answer to a prayer. So she did a beautiful job. We had all these wonderful conversations, and she interviewed me, had me list all the things that have been most key and pivotal in my life. And then she just honed it and made it so beautiful. It has a gorgeous cover. We got the best endorsements from people like Mark Victor Hansen and Dr. Barbara DeAngelis. And I just heard a few minutes ago that it went #1 in Italy and in the USA on Amazon. So,
That's how we want to hear. And we're just launching out. There's a QR code right now on the screen for the free digital download, but there's a limited time on this. There's only so long you get the free version of this, right?
right, 4 days. It's 4 days.
4 days. So hit the QR code. We're going to show it several times here during our conversation, but we do want to tease out a little bit of the book here with you. And I'm interested in the first chapter a little bit because the chapter is titled Living in a State of Joy. And if
Mhm.
no one ever talks to you, you're the most joyous, bubbliest, liveliest woman. So I'm not surprised chapter 1 was about joy. Tell us about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and I'm pretty irrepressible. In fact, I just had heart surgery 2 weeks ago, and they picked me up at the hospital, and we went directly to the outlet center to go shopping and have lunch. So, um, even the doctors would come in the room and say, "Where's the patient? Where's the patient?" Because I still had my makeup on from having this heart issue. But
Well, you say in the book, magic isn't something we passively wait for, but we
right,
actively expect into
yeah,
being. You expect it into being, and partly that's through the joy, right?
yes, I think we begin to notice when magic things happen. I happen to learn very early that magic was going to show up in my life. But I mean, when we say, wow, that was kind of a miracle what just happened. And then when you appreciate it like that, your endorphins go flying around. And I think it really, we'll never understand what life is all about. It's such a mystery.
Yeah.
The quantum field and all of that. We don't know how this all works. But I do notice now that I'm 84 that it responds to the frequency that we have and how light we can make ourselves, the joy. So every morning when I wake up, instead of thinking, oh, what do I have to do today? Like most people, I mean, we are living in survival sometimes,
Yeah.
most of the time. But I say, where can I find the most joy today? Or how can I most joyfully uplift the world? What can I do to spark some energy here? And then I listen and I get little prompts all day long about how to do that.
Well, and this all started again, your first encounter with magic with a young child,
Yeah,
and you began to believe magic is in all of us, right?
I do. I truly know that that's true.
Why don't people believe that? Why do people shy away from this thing of there's magic within you? Expect it, look for it. Why are we drawn the other way?
Well, a lot of us have, including me, we've had some horrible things in our childhood. I was shuffled off to boarding school all by myself at the age of 8. And my core wound from that was loneliness.
Yeah.
I felt rejection. I see now, though, that core wound has been my greatest gift, that I
Oh,
have spent my whole life creating community, bringing people together around the table,
yeah.
you know. So I have this kind of, I won't use the word, I was going to use the word Pollyanna, but erase that. Uh, I really began to notice in all that loneliness, and even hearing a voice one time from out of nowhere when I'd had a terrible experience. I was sitting alone on my bed and I heard the words, "Nothing really bad will ever happen to you." And I took that in. I knew that that was true. And even as I look back on the things that have happened in my life, the death of 2 husbands and so on, I can honestly say nothing really bad has ever happened to me.
And that's where that abundance and joy flows out. You're able to
Mhm.
go there and not stay down here.
Yeah.
Is that something you have to work on, or is that something that naturally flows out of you, or it
Well,
now
I wish
flows
I
out of you
wish I
when you
knew.
look at?
I think it might be. I think that I naturally cultivated and cultured it all my life because I began to notice it. That I broke an engagement at the age of 21. I just knew that this man, this wonderful man, didn't have a capacity for intimacy that I just felt destined to have in my life. That I wouldn't settle for anything less. And I happened to travel to Hong Kong. I was only 21 years old. I woke up in the morning. I went down and I knew to go stand down in the lobby, not just in without my makeup or anything. I got all dolled up to go down there. It's like 7 in the morning. And I think, what am I doing here? And the elevator opens and out walks probably the most gorgeous human man I'd ever seen. His associate was called to the phone and he was left standing next to me and we were engaged 3 days later. So it's like my life is full of happenstances that are beyond uh, just ordinary things. I mean, there's no explanation. And it happens every day. Something magical happens every day.
So, in the new book, Expect Magic, chapter
Mhm.
5, I found very interesting. The chapter focuses on the power of releasing attachments,
Mhm.
expectations, and illusions that no longer serve your higher good. You got to get the junk out to get
Yeah.
where you're talking about being, right?
Yes, am on my 25th anniversary with my first husband. We spent the evening on a couch looking out at the ocean, and we decided we would acknowledge the 25 years and remember all of the things that happened. We talked, we laughed, we cried. And at the end of it, he said, "What would you have changed?" And
Ooh.
I said, "Only my resistance to what was happening." And that's it, isn't it? So resistance has to go, attachment has to go. There's a chapter in the book about voluntary simplicity, and I think that that's what you're referring to. These words came to me just like
Yeah.
nothing bad will ever happen to you. I knew that voluntary simplicity was my path forward, especially at the loss of my second husband.
Mm.
And being in Palm Springs and all alone and surviving a hurricane there where I was bailing water like crazy, I just thought, I don't belong here anymore. I need to give away 90% of my stuff. I need to become a joyful gypsy of some kind. I don't know where I'm going to land. I had no idea. But that was the most amazing. That truly is one of the most magical stories of my whole life.
Well, because you also, at that same time, as you were discarding and moving, you were falling into this book about magic and your life of magic. So the two overlapped together, didn't they?
Yes. It was kind of in my mind all the time. I knew I would land well. Uh, because I thought I'd get a little casita somewhere. Prices are so high. I'd get somebody's guest house. And then it just happened that my wonderful daughter, Dr. Lexi Wellinetz, was going through a big transition in her own life, getting a divorce and so on. And so I stayed with her temporarily, and we had so much fun that we decided that we would find something together. And this, I never dreamed I could have such a beautiful office space and a bedroom right next door in the same house with my daughter. And
Was
we just laugh all the time.
was that a magical moment?
Oh, it was totally magical because it's not fun to discover you're going to get a divorce and go through all of that.
No.
And I had been widowed for several years at that point, but
Yeah.
it, I didn't know that we could have this kind of a relationship. I really didn't. We never had the opportunity. She went to college, she got married, she had children. We lived quite a ways apart, so I didn't get to see her very often. And now it's just great. Except she asked me to tone down my exuberance a little bit. She likes to wake up
Mom's
slowly
here.
in the
She's
morning.
here.
Put a lid on it, Mom.
Now, chapter 7, I thought was a very unique chapter. It introduces the concept of encore. And the last time we
Yes.
spoke, you were just throwing that idea out on the table a little bit, and I bit on that the last time. So I'm anxious to hear about encore again. Fill
Well,
us
don't you
in.
love the word? I mean, doesn't it
Yeah.
kind of, it means that you performed well, the audience liked it, and they want more.
Yes.
So I keep coming up. I even have my next idea for what I'm doing after this book. Um, I think that as we go through life and as we shed all of the pieces of ourselves
Yeah.
that we don't need anymore, the values, the ego operating so wildly, we let go, we release. And at that point, we really have moved from ego to essence. If we've done our inner work, you
Right.
know, and it's time that we could go center stage and bring up some of our unexpressed creativity. We
Mhm.
may have been studying art and put that aside, or musical instruments. We may love hosting parties and creating community. I mean, there's just all of these possibilities that still live inside of us.
Right.
And I like to tell people to ask a quantum question. Now, this isn't really in the book. I haven't used this term yet because I love this so much, and
That's why I
it's
love
new.
having you on. I mean, I get the good stuff first.
It's bubbling up. So, a quantum question is a question that has the vibration of the answer you want. So, for instance, oh, what do I have to do today? That has one vibration. You can say, hey, what kind of magic is going to show up in my life today? Amaze me. I mean, this is another energy that we're asking with. And
Mhm.
the quantum responds. and you suddenly get ideas of things to do. So I really encourage people to leave the past behind them and to have some kind of birth something new, something they've never expressed before, because we all have these innate gifts that we love, things that we've never quite explored, or things that lift us up and make us feel inspired and like we can experiment and see what happens and not be embarrassed about it.
Oh, right. No, no, just let it go and have fun and just jump on the ride and go for the ride with it.
Yes, there's a quote in the book: "Make no comparisons, make no judgments, and delete your need for understanding." Which is the tricky one, but
Oh,
we don't have
yeah.
to analyze everything or decide if something's going to be worthwhile or meaningful or if it's going to turn out okay. We just need to do it and find out where it leads us.
Well, and that's part of the fun of stumbling in and expecting magic, because when it does unfold, your choice is fall into it or run the other way. But often when you run the other way, you miss out on the next greatest, best opportunity. But it still freaks people out.
I know, but you just have to learn to boogie in the void.
Now, we do have a larger book launch party coming up. We don't let everyone know that. And don't go anywhere. We're going to bring back up that QR code so you can definitely download this book absolutely free. But
Hmm.
coming up, we are going to have a bigger party. And Lady JB Owen will join us for that as well. But it's going to be on March 22nd. It's a Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 full hour with
Oh,
Diana.
goody.
And we're going to have a live event, interview, question, prizes, open Q&A from the community, and a lot more fun. You want to mark your calendar, you can hit the QR code right now, register for this event. This will not be a live stream like this. This will be for a party room that you're going to beam
Hmm.
on into and join us. So anything you want to say about your own book launch party coming up?
Oh, I'm really excited about that. It's just becoming real in my mind that this is actually happening. So I thank you for having me here. We have something in mind for years and years and years. And then suddenly the day is here. It's like the best kind of birthday, anniversary, Valentine's Day all rolled into one.
Well, yes, it is. And we'll have plenty of fun during that. And don't forget, this QR code right here gets you the book absolutely free in an ebook version, but it's
Hmm.
only for 4 days.
Right.
It's the free version is gone in 4 days. So you want to jump on this, make sure you get it. You can pre-read it before the big book launch. Then you come on in loaded with great questions and see if you can stump the author.
Yes. And please write a review if you like it. If you
Yes.
don't like it, never mind.
We want those 5 stars, the thumbs up, the comments, but that all helps right away. As we kind of wind down here a little bit, I'm curious, what was the hardest part for this book? Because this was personal this time. This was you revealing the inner thoughts and muses in a different way than you have. What was the biggest bump that maybe Lady JB had to go back and say, you can do better. Write it again.
Well, I refer to something called dark beauty, because we all hit a wall. We all stumble. We all have things that happen that seem to take our energy away. But I've really learned that there's something, in art, they refer to chiaroscuro. It's an Italian term that means it's the light versus the dark combined in a painting is what makes the painting extraordinary. So I look at our life as a work of art. I really do. And I have to remind myself during dark times, which I experience as well, that it's temporary.
Mm.
And this came to pass. It didn't come to stay.
That's a
Somebody
great way
said
to
that to me
land a
recently.
plane. Remind everybody of that. And
Hmm.
there's much more of the mind out of Expect Magic,
Yeah.
the latest release, best-selling author Diana Wentworth. And again, if you recognize a name, you're trying to figure out where, Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Right.
She was in that. And there's the book of yourself right there. So, Diana, thank you for taking time to be here on your ebook download party. Again, we're going to replay this over the weekend. You get to watch it again. And then we're going to have you come on back and celebrate big time for
Can't
your
wait.
own big release party.
I'm so tickled to be with you. Thank you, Richard. You're such a hero in my life.
Thank you. Well, again, you want to make sure you hit this QR code right here. Join us for the big event. You don't want to miss that at all. And then you're going to come with your questions. Seriously, make sure you come with your questions. You can get that download. I'm going to share that one more time. You can get the downloadable version of the book, read it, ask questions, possibility of winning some prizes, and learn more about what it took to write the book, more about the ladies that put this book together, and the inside story, because the stories are really rich, very interesting, and you can apply it to your life. There's so much action out of this that you can now learn how to expect magic, just like Diana Wentworth. Thanks for being with us today for this live stream. We hope to see you back on the 26th. Don't miss out on that. Until then,